Hi YouTube, it's Shauna and I am here to share my version of Sandy Pro's baked tomato recipe. She threw out a little challenge for some YouTubers to do our version of her recipe or put our own spin on it. So for this recipe you need one beefsteak tomato. That's the main ingredient, and then whatever you do to it is completely up to you. I'll show you what I have decided to do. Okay, for this ingredient, this recipe, you will need a can of tuna fish. Solid white is best. You will need some mayonnaise, real mayonnaise, only about a teaspoon or so. And you will need some cheddar cheese. Now I also, to mine, have added some diced onion, but that's a personal preference. So take your tomato and cut it in half. For the sake of this video, mine, oops, slide this back, mine is already cut in half. I take an ice cream scoop and I gently just kind of hollow out the insides a little bit. It'll be very, very juicy. Okay. I have my tuna mixture already mixed up. I have 1 can of tuna, about a teaspoon of mayonnaise, a little bit of the shredded cheddar, and some of the diced onion with salt and pepper to taste. You're gonna fill that tomato right up in there. Nice and full. And you don't want a ton of mayonnaise in there, like a teaspoon or less, because the juiciness of the tomato, once it's cooked, is going to make that really, really good. And then you take your cheddar cheese, top that off, and this is going to go into a preheated 425-degree oven until the cheese is all melted and bubbly. I'd probably say 10-15 minutes or so, and I'll be right back and show you what the Alright, I'm back. I have pulled out my tomatoes from the oven. They were baked at 425 for 10 to 15 minutes until the cheese was melted and bubbly and nice and golden brown. And they're still pretty hot, but for the sake of the video, we're going to give it a go. So I present to YouTube my no-carb tomato melt, tuna melt. So this is like a tuna melt sandwich without all the carbs of the bread. Pretty nifty. Some of you may or may not know that I follow, or try my best to follow, a low-carb diet as much as I can, so I'm always looking for creative ways to do that without feeling like I'm missing out on all the fun stuff. And my husband loves tuna melts, but I don't usually partake in all that because bread, lots and lots of bread. But I do have a recipe planned coming up hopefully soon that can show you a almost no-carb homemade bread recipe. So here's my tuna melt together, the steamy tomato, tuna, a little bit of onion. You don't have to add the onion, and some cheese on top. And the reason I added cheese into the tuna mixture also is because I like to have cheese in every bite, not just on the top. When you cut it, it all like kind of slides off. So bon appetit. I'll be back with more later.